What's going on? This is Coach Marcus for Pro Fan Talk, and man, we got a lot of stuff going on. Oh my goodness. Man, the WNBA news feed just went off last night. First you had Teresa Weatherspoon, then you had the exit interviews. It's just a lot of stuff going on, but I'm working on 2 or 3 topics right now. I want to touch on 2 points in this video, just 2. But there's a lot of substance in those 2. First of all, Gabby Williams. Gabby Williams has become one of the top people that I want to watch next year. I became aware of her, like many others, in the Olympics. Liked what I saw. Me, like a bunch of other people, wondered why she wasn't in the WNBA. You find out the story of her kind of getting screwed out of her deal when she played in France. And the team's bouncing her around, and Chicago trading her before she got back, so she had to remain on suspension. So essentially, Chicago screwed her out of a whole season in the WNBA. So she had a story behind it. But she clearly is one of the better international players, and I definitely want to see her next year in the W. However, this is something that has been brought up a lot. The women of the W talking about how much they're getting paid, specifically international players. And this is something that Gabby Williams spoke on. I believe this was yesterday.
In order for us to be here. And I think I didn't express that when I first talked about prioritization. You know, our commissioner talked about us being able to, you know, make 700,000. That's not true at all. There's not one player who makes that. We were promised, you know, team marketing agreements and league marketing agreements, but they've fallen quite short. So it's still not enough for us international players to want to stay here, and that's a choice of the players. If I make a choice to make more money and whatever, and then the teams are mad that I don't come back, but that's how it is. So yes, it just the WNBA, you know, if you want us to be here, you have to pay us more. It's business, it's how it works, and that's all that means.
That is business. That is the way the sausage is made. She's 100% correct. That is the nature of the beast. This is a results-based business. If you're not getting results, we ain't gonna do business with you. But she is right. She's one of the best players in the world. And if they were promising salaries and stuff like that, I understand her point of view. However, and this is a situation where I think her and a lot of other people, especially with some of the comments that I've heard, like last year, when you saw Kelsey Plum, I think was on a show talking about getting equity in the league. Whenever you had a conversation about how much you're getting paid, the one thing, at least in my opinion, that a lot of these women forget is that you can't talk about the WNBA like it is a thriving business, because it is not. It would be one thing to talk about the WNBA should be paying us more. We deserve more. We're the best players in the world, and everything that comes with that. And you are 100% correct. However, the WNBA as a business entity is not making money. This year, at the end of 2024, after the playoffs and everything that comes with it, this might be the first year that the league has turned a profit. And I'm not even sure they will. With all of the money generated, and let's be honest, it was specifically because of the visibility of Caitlin Clark. This year, they're probably on pace to make more money than they've made in their existence. And it still might not get them out of debt. But, you know, the CBA is about to get redone. You know, the players are about to get more money because they just got a new media rights deal that's going to pay them $2.2 billion over the next 11 years. So you got a big influx of money in. So while I understand what Gabby Williams is saying, you cannot apply that logic to a business that is failing. The business has never turned a profit. They've lost money almost every year. The NBA was giving them $40 million a year. That ship would have sunk a long time ago. So my point is, you can't act like the WNBA has money like the NBA. Far from it. And even when they get this new media rights deal, the gap between the NBA and the WNBA is like ocean wide. Again, I understand Gabby Williams' point. She is 100% correct. The women of the WNBA should be making more money. However, the WNBA as a business entity don't have it yet. You got to pump your brakes. The media rights check ain't even cleared yet. So you got to pump your brakes on that. It's coming, but you're still about 2 years away. They're going to do a new collective bargaining agreement this year. And then next year, in 2026, is probably when they'll start making money. That's just a guess. I could be wrong. We'll wait and see. And now the second thing is we all know that Teresa Weatherspoon got fired, and there's been a little bit of fallout to that. Now, mind you, I'll preface this by saying I am a Indiana Fever fan. I'm a Kelsey Mitchell fan. I'm a Caitlin Clark fan. So I am in the Indiana Fever Facebook chat groups. Put that in context first. And when I did my video about Teresa Weatherspoon getting fired, this is the video. Breaking news. I produced this last night. But here's my point. So I'm in the Indiana Fever chat rooms and all of that kind of stuff. And I notice everybody keeps using the word thug. They keep throwing this phrase out there. She was a thug coach, the thuggery on the team, and this, that. I saw that a lot. And I started giving it the arch eyebrow. Like, hold on now. Like, you can't just put everybody in the box, and you can't just act like Teresa Weatherspoon was just a trash coach. Far from it. Chicago was a struggling organization. They had front office issues. They had front office turnover, and they hired Teresa Weatherspoon before they hired their GM. So that's out of order in the first place. Chicago was a hot mess last year. Now you got two of the top picks. You get Cardoso, and then you get Angel Reese. You got Mabry in there, and you got some things getting put together. Kennedy Carter came out of nowhere. We'll talk about her in a second. So basically, Teresa Weatherspoon was trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. And you damn sure need longer than a year. Let's be real. Now, the reason I bring up Kennedy Carter, everybody knows what Kennedy Carter's history is. That's well documented. But Teresa Weatherspoon got the most out of Kennedy Carter. When it was all said and done, in my opinion, Kennedy Carter should have been an all-star. She should have been in the running for most improved player. But because of the incident with Caitlin Clark and knocking her down and everything that came with that, she got none of those accolades. She deserved it, but she didn't get none of it. So there were some things wrong with the stuff that was going on in Chicago from the outside looking in. You had some off the cuff comments between Kennedy Carter and Angel Reese. And then you had the the press conference when Cardoso and the other girl was up there they were up there giving the press conference, and something was going on in the locker room. Arguing, fighting, throwing stuff. I don't know, whatever it was. And everybody just assumed that it was Kennedy Carter. We don't know for sure. But my point is that, yeah, she got some issues with her. But for the most part, if not for the incident with Caitlin Clark, I don't give a damn what she say. I don't care if she said Caitlin Clark can't do nothing. I don't care about what you say. I only care about what you do on the court. That was a cheap shot, and it probably cost her some opportunities. But after that, she pretty much kept her nose clean and kept playing better and better and better. And before too long, Teresa Weatherspoon stopped having her come off the bench, and she was a starter. And she paid immediate dividends. Teresa Weatherspoon was the perfect coach for somebody like Kennedy Carter. Very strong personality. Weatherspoon has been through some stuff when she played, so she understands Kennedy Carter. And it showed. Kennedy Carter, at the end of the year, was one of the best players in the WNBA, period. I would have put her up there with Kelsey Mitchell, Arike Ogunbowale, Kelsey Plum, Ionescu. I put Kennedy Carter right up there on that list. That's how good she was playing at the end of the year. And I would even go so far as to say is if she hadn't caught COVID at the end of the year and been on the court, they probably would have won a couple more games and probably have made the playoffs. And that is a testament to what Coach Teresa Weatherspoon was doing. She might not have been the best with the X's and O's. Do I think she played Angel Reese a little bit too much and played up the double-double things? Absolutely, I do. That don't mean she was a bad coach. She playing the hand she given. And you owe her at least longer than a damn year. You owe her at least that much. I wanted to mention that everybody immediately coming off because of what happened with Kennedy, because of the perceived hate with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. And I say that perceived because I have heard from Caitlin Clark, I've heard from Angel Reese that they not enemies. So you know what? I'm going to take them at their word. You don't have to believe them. I'm going to take them at their word. It's everybody else on the outside that's causing all of this mess. But you got people that do come across and they want to say thug. And I'm like, you know what? Y'all saying thug a little bit too easily. And what it sounds like to me, a fan, a black fan, that's a fan of Caitlin Clark. What that sounds like is you trying to input another noun that you don't want to say. Read between the lines and take from that what you will. So that was a little bit suspect. Let me ask you a question. Why is Teresa Weatherspoon labeled a thug? Because she coaches physical players that come across with sometimes a cocky attitude on the court and that's what Kennedy Carter is. That's what Angel Reese is. That's what Dana Evans is. That's what Marina Mabrey was while she was still there. So why is Teresa Weatherspoon considered a thug? You didn't say that about Stephanie White. She coached the Connecticut Sun. If I'm not mistaken, it was Alyssa Thomas that slammed some people on their necks. It was Dejanay Carrington that poked some folks in the eye. Stephanie White never got the moniker of a thug. Tibbetts coaches in Mercury. Diana Taurasi is one of the dirtiest players in the league. Brittany Griner's known to try to bully some people, but they never called Tibbetts a thug. How come that's only given to Teresa Weatherspoon? Is that strictly because you just don't like Kennedy Carter and or Angel Reese? Nah, I ain't buying that. So you got to stop putting people in the box like that, because the optics of it isn't good. And that's what they talking about. If you take it to the next level, and you already know how far people can go on the internet. But if I can be in a chat group with other Fever fans, and that's why I made a point to say some, not all, some Fever fans, some fans, and it's not all Fever fans, but the ones that were in this chat group, yes, there were some that was throwing around that word a little bit too easily. And it had me feeling some kind of way. I ain't gonna lie. And I was like, wait a minute. Because anybody that knows anything about coaching, about sports, knows Teresa Weatherspoon, for that to be her first gig as a head coach, she did all right. With everything that was thrown at her plate and got no help from her front office. You had Kalia Copper, she bounced. Marina Mabrey, she bounced. Dana Evans wanted to bounce. So again, Teresa Weatherspoon trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. But a lot of these fans, there is some truth to that, to what some of these fans do say and what they put out there, and they don't give a damn who watching. They want to do it with impunity because there's going to be little to no recourse from their actions. That's the problem with Alyssa Thomas and Breanna Stewart, and they're making comments about what Caitlin Clark fans are doing. Nah, you got fans and you got trolls. You got to know the difference between the two and stop putting everybody in the same box. Because I'm a fan of Caitlin Clark. I'm a fan of the Indiana Fever, but I ain't trolling nobody. So I got to be put in that box too? Nah, you ain't doing that to me. A lot of stuff going on. I do not think Teresa Weatherspoon should have been fired, but I understand. Because this issue is coming from their front office. And whoever they get to replace her better be good. Because you got some big personalities that you got to deal with. You got a star on your team that's probably making more money than the coach you bringing in. Angel Reese is going to be a bigger star than whoever you bring in as a coach. And it also, who wants to go play for Chicago now? You had a coach. Yes, she was learning on the job, but every player on that team would have ran through a wall for Teresa Weatherspoon. Now, the one thing I do want to find out, Dana Evans and Marina Mabrey, did they want out because of Weatherspoon or because of other things that was going on? That's going to be something that has to be figured out. But don't, put Teresa Weatherspoon in a box and label her a thug just because you don't like her players. The last thing I wanted to deal with is, of course, Indiana loses. Caitlin Clark is out, had their exit interviews, all of that kind of stuff. Now everybody's saying, who's going to watch the finals now? Is anybody still watching the WNBA now that Caitlin's out? Well, guess I'm turning it off now. Man, y'all can go ahead with that. The NBA playoffs are continuing. Caitlin Clark is out, so everybody's thinking that nobody's going to watch. The viewership is going to drop off. And it probably will a little bit. But I'm still watching. I'm a 76ers fan, so if the 76ers don't go to the NBA finals, I'm not gonna watch the finals. If my Philadelphia Eagles or my Cincinnati Bengals don't make the Super Bowl, I'm not watching. If you mad because Caitlin Clark is out of the playoffs, then be mad by yourself. I'm still watching. I'm still gonna watch the finals. I still want to see Sabrina Ionescu. I think it's gonna be New York and Las Vegas, and New York is gonna win the title. That's my prediction. but I'm still gonna watch. Still got favorite players. So don't put it out there like everybody's gonna just stop watching because Caitlin Clark is gone. Yes, the viewership probably will go down, but guess what? I'm still watching. There's going to be a lot more news coming out very soon. So stay tuned. Keep watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.